While we wait for others to show up, let's get into chapter 15. Hey, things are moving pretty quick. Next week, we have the whole week off. Come back, we only got 2 weeks left. After that, week 13, and then finals week, so things are wrapping up. Have you enjoyed the class?
Yeah.
Learned anything? All right. Okay, advertising. So, hey, advertising. Who here wants to work in advertising? Anyone who has it? What kind of job are you thinking about?
I would like making, not necessarily graphic design, but like coming up with like advertising ideas.
Just like plan to advertise.
Yeah.
Coming up with concepts, different visuals. Right, we got another graphic designer in the back, right? What do you plan on doing with that? Are you gonna go just stay independent on your own? Are you gonna venture out with a company? Any ideas?
I don't know, I think freelancing would be fun, but we'll see what happens.
Now, how about here?
I mean, for me, when it goes to advertising, I want to work with like maybe social media team for like a professional team. That'd be like, oh yeah, promoting this thing that's gonna happen, or final scores, highlights. I want to be kind of, advertise like my team.
Okay.
So like Instagram, Facebook.
So social media advertising.
Yeah, or even, I don't know, really they do, any advertising would be like a chief marketing executive.
Excellent. Remember, hey, advertising is just one component of marketing, right? We say marketing is this giant umbrella of how we sort of involve in the 4 Ps, right? Place our product, how we decide what the price is, right? How we're promoting, incentivizing people to act, change the behavior of people, change behavior, markets, plan, execute all sorts of strategies. But advertising is a little bit different, right? In some way, right? It's just a component, and it's really a component of messaging, right? The communication. So we say, hey, advertising is paid communication messages. In which case, either we pay to develop a message, say with the commercial involves director, producer, camera people, copywriters to write many things within the commercial itself. Maybe it's a billboard ad, right? So we say, hey, in this particular ad, how big do we want the billboard to be? Where do we want it to be located? What's the messaging? How do you impact this small sort of frame of the billboard to change people's minds about things, get them to do something, to buy something, have them interested in it? Right? So we say advertising is really just a messaging component. And good things, it reaches a big audience. Right? So we say with the right ad, if we're talking about social media, with the right type of ad, you can reach sort of an almost unlimited audience, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, right, Twitch. Cost per exposure is relatively low, you know. It's like, hey, you can create one commercial and disseminate it on Difficult to capture how the message was received. It was a little different in person once again. Talking to you, I can kind of gauge your behavior, right, your body language, whether you feel good about something, bad about something. When we're looking at ads, it's limited in the reception. Social media, like, oh, they liked it. How many times? 1 million likes. They share it. How many share it? 10,000 shares. Like, oh, that's pretty successful. But still, we may not know exactly. We kind of have to figure out what do people want. Unless maybe they commented and talked about the critique of it, start chattering about it. Somewhat difficult to interpret how the message was received. Different type of ads, right? Product ads, things that create brand awareness. Right? Branding is sort of a big one because they say, hey, the value of the brand may actually exceed the value of like the stock shares of the company. Right? We say, hey, how much is Apple worth today? I think Google. What's the value of Apple? Somebody. Yeah, whatever, let's see what they say. What's the context? What does it say relative? What's it based on? Just that article. Whatever comes up, like what else does it say? Is that market share, market capitalization?
Yeah.
Hey, market capitalization is $3.5 trillion. Like, well, if Apple sold, let's just say they theoretically sold, how much would they sell? Not selling for $3.5 trillion, price out was 15 trillion. Like, how could that be? Like, brand, that image is something you can't place a number on for the most part. Right? The image, think of when you go buy a house. And you're like, they're like, oh, it costs $5 million. You're like, how? Like, the county assessor assessed the value at $1.2 million. Why are you asking for $5 million? Because it doesn't say it's worth 1.2. Why are you asking for $5 million? Tell you all the wonderful things that you should care about. The image of the place. Oh, that's this, this aesthetic, this French Renaissance architecture, it's this, right? So I'm saying, hey, there are things out there that exceed some sort of tangible cost. Market cap is tangible, right? We can look at the stock price, calculate the number of outstanding shares, and come up with that figure, $3.5 trillion. But brand awareness is something exceptional, it exceeds it. Interesting thing about Apple. Apple involved probably the worst financial decision probably in human history. I said American history, right? There's a guy that started Apple with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, right? And this guy owned 10% of Apple when he first started the concept of the idea. Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs offered that guy $800 to sell his 10% interest in Apple. 10 days after they started the company. And later, once they incorporated back to Apple, they gave him $1,500 to say, you can never come back to have any claims. So $800 was $1,500. You know how much his stock share will be worth today? $245 billion. He sold it for $800. Look him up. So, anyway, so we're like, all right, differentiate the brand product from competitors, institutional advertising, focus on the government organization. And we saw some wonderful ads from the campaigns, right? Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, right? Like, those are great advertisements. Maybe, maybe not. Some Cardi B, some Beyonce, some Elon Musk, right? Pay for it. You gotta pay people to show up, right? The platforms, right? Joe Rogan probably pays a lot of people to show up. People buy really free, right? Black TV and things like pays to have the people to promote and advertise. So it's a paid communication that goes to create a positive image. With advertising, we say, hey, it just assists in consumer awareness. It just provides an assist. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna go out and buy it, but you can aid in the behavior or the propensity to make a purchase. Call to action to act on something. Okay, so when you out the product, well, like I have to keep reminding you how great this product is. We're the best, we're exceptional, right? Got to keep my brand on your mind constantly. So we got to bombard you with advertisement so that you know that we're great and so that you come back. Part of our retention, right? So retain customers through reminders. Demonstrate how the business aligns with the customer's values, right message at the right time. Right? We're going to say, hey, I come here because I value quality, I value convenience, right? I value cost. And so that message has to keep kind of being put out there because there's other people competing against that same message in terms of the consumer's value. So right message at the right time. Follow the trends. Whoever's trending, you may want to insert the value of your company, product, or brand right there. All right, here's a quick discussion question. Let's see. Different advertisements you have seen that appeal to you as a consumer, and ones that you do not. Do you believe that you are or are not the target market for the advertisement? If not, who is the target based on the ad and the medium used? 2 minutes. Just talk about it with your group, see what you come up with on these particular sort of questions on advertising. Think of some ads you've recently seen. Did they appeal to you or not? Maybe ones you may have been kind of seeing quite a bit. And you're like, oh, I think they're showing this, right? That's completely irrelevant to anything I'm interested in. Right? And if it's not, you're like, hey, it's irrelevant, I'm not interested. Okay, well, who is the target market that would be in it? Why do you keep showing it to me, right? Who is the target based on the ad and the medium used? Tell me about the medium. Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, billboard, at the train station, on the bus.
Instagram because the ones on Instagram kind of, I feel like the algorithm knows that this is what I need.
Alright, so, okay, there's the thing, you're like, well, alright, with, TikTok, you're like, alright, well, maybe TikTok is testing this thing, right? You're saying, hey, this is maybe kind of home. Like, interjecting, that's some kind of watching video, like, hey, TikTok, keep that up, and I might start watching other platforms or something. What you're doing is not working. Then we say the algorithms, different platforms, different algorithms. YouTube has strengthened its algorithm. Like literally, if you search on YouTube to watch a particular type of video, immediately on the home page, once you have that video, it starts showing you everything identical to that last search. And that to me is a negative. I'm like, alright, I'm just randomly want to search this thing, and I'm always interested in watching it. You should correspond to YouTube to what I've been searching for the last 2 months, right? That would make more sense. So it's maybe something that's kind of turned me off, right, in a way. But you're like, hey, okay, that's the thing, I don't know who they're targeting with that. I think that will maybe be for a younger audience, right, with a shorter attention span. But that can really obsessive and obsessing on what's happening, trending out. I don't know, maybe for an older person like me, I'm kind of like, nah, give me back my broad interest. I'll make all the videos from the last thing I just searched, right? What about over here?
I would say, like, all around, fellas, basketball, all kind of places that there's so much power, fishing stuff, and kind of what I do at home. So, like on Instagram, I could be scrolling through like 6, 7 minutes about new stuff they're coming out with. Like last week, I got 4 heads about newer brands of those brands that I already have, and I'm too far behind that. And we even get like emails, bigger ads and stuff like that too. So I think it does have like this target market, but it also, if you just go on that kind of fishing stuff, you can get a ton of stuff. So it really depends on each type of person. So I feel like it comes back to know who you're trying to get to.
Does, you know, when I send you emails and stuff too, like you just randomly start to see like emails popping out, tailored to that incentive to make you more interested, look at that stuff?
I would say the young people like me, I find it interesting, so I can look into it just to see what it's about. Plus, I find I fish, I look a lot of stuff. I look at every section. Where somebody who just strictly like hunts, there's no hunting section, or if they get an email about fishing or something like that.
Alright, just say, hey, that's good, but because theoretically it's giving you a concept of, hey, you also might like X, Y, right? Similar to things, you like fishing, you like hunting, you probably like that, of course, you fish, like that, probably like the outdoors, having gear, all this stuff. Alright, what about here? Anything you think of?
We spoke about how basketball companies feel like, you know, how couple down and other companies that sell fun food, like Tuesday for free. Like, you know, I told them, well, like, if you come at 9, you get to start for free, and then one of it, you know, and so on. And then the one will get one free, one, you know, those things, so I like specific companies. And also, we talked about how on Shein, you know, the same one, like, if you buy 5 items, you get one free. I feel like that independent consumer force so they attract, you know, and if you're right into it, it's not or one specific that
Alright, so they say promotions, right? You're like, hey, you know what, that's good because it's showing me promotions of things I'm actually interested in. If it's tacos, show me things with Taco Tuesdays, if it's the clothes I've been looking at, also show me coupons and rebates and things like that. And that incentivizes you to buy more stuff. Becky.
We talked about social media too, but like another thing that we look at is like a lot of billboards are pretty generalized ads. Like for example, if you drive down the highway in Chicagoland, you see Bryant or lack of billboards about hair restoration. Where like like most people like our age, we know Bryant Urlacher, so it's kind of like, oh, like I know the guy, but the product they're using to sell isn't something
irrelevant, it's a mismatch, right? You're not gonna do anything with that, spend a bunch of money for no reason. What about here?
We talked about how like, commercials for, medication don't really apply to us at all, especially if they're showing like old people there. It doesn't really apply to us. I'm not worried about, like, I don't know, whatever disease they got,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, hey, that's also a mismatch. You should be showing me fitness regimens, right? No cool fitness and exercise stuff. You should be showing me vegan, vegetarian diets, different type of workouts and things. Not for that. That's the wrong demographic. That demographic is for people who are older, who got a lot of illness. All right. Just a few more. I want to cover before we start talking about showing our presentation. All right, quickly. Major decisions in advertising plans. Hey, we need objectives. Once again, just like everything else in marketing. Objective, we need a push or pull strategy. We want to draw people in for more awareness, or we're just trying to push out to gain sales. Right? We have to have a strict objective. Are we just building awareness, or we gaining influencers, things of that nature? Are we just pushing out the product? Budgeting, huge part. Strategy, execution, right? Using different media channels, TV, radio, billboards, magazines, internet stuff. And then assessment and evaluation. You know, to keep it simple, we all kind of advertise. If we are active on social media, we all advertise in some way. Now, it's relatively cheap. All you need is a phone and a camera, right? Promote something in some way. Maybe it's your life, maybe it's things you're doing. Maybe you have a little pop-up TikTok shop or Instagram for a business going on. But we can see clearly from the key performance indicators. KPIs is like, hey, you know what? What's the difference between the last two posts that we did? You're like, oh, one got 1,000 views, the other one got 5,000. You're like, well, why did the one get 5,000 and get 1,000? You're like, oh, because we deviated from the message. We start like interjecting politics into the message. People are like, get out of here. Can't take a look at a specific thing. Now you're talking about some other random stuff that don't correlate to the message, right? So we need to assess, but hey, are we consistent with the message? Are we starting to deviate and lose people because we're talking about things that people are not coming here for? They're coming here for specific things of interest, right? So we got to value that looking at likes, shares, comments, et cetera, et cetera. Some objective, one to inform, like, hey, campaigns for politics. Who are you selling? Who are you selling the person? Selling ideologies, right? Conservative, liberal, right? But for the most part, you're selling information, right? Getting it, making people aware. Maybe it's something very technical. You know, like, hey, not only are we pushing the product, but we got to kind of tell people how to use it, right? Apple does that with this keynotes. Persuasive, convincing you to buy, highlighting the benefits, showing the product being used, right, or the service. Compare, at least one product is over another. Burger King versus McDonald's. What's the difference between the $5 meals? Who got the better one? Who got the better deals? A reminder, right? Kind of bring you back into the mind of what the product or service is about. And then push and pull. Some different budget approaches here, right? Percent of sales. So we said budgets are important. If you're working for these marketing agencies or ad agencies, you're working with a client, right? You have a client, you have an account that you're working on. The account or the client says, we have $2 million max for this. What can you do for us with this $2 million? How many people can you reach? How much of a conversion you think you can turn into sales in the future, right? So we say some different sort of approaches. Percent of sales, percentage of prior year sales or predicted future sales. If you work for any company, usually they can just throw random things out there for projections. Oh, we project to make 15% more than last quarter. Right? 15%. For the most part, it's made. So a lot of it is made. Other parts will be like, well, are going to spend million more than we did last quarter. Thus, looking at the performance of last quarter, we use the same metrics. We anticipate to make X, Y, Z based on the $2 million that we're spending, the extra $2 million. Right? All you can afford. Right? Sometimes you just have what you have and you just throw it out there and put it together. Return on investments. These budgets are set on expected return in dollars. Like I say, quarter to quarter budget. Like, hey, I'm gonna infuse an extra $500,000. I expect to return this based on growth patterns of the market and things of that nature. Competitive parity. Budgets are set based on predictions of what competitors will spend. Right? And objective and task budgets are set based on objective for set of activities. Media selection should be determined based on these factors. You want to reach as many people possible. How many people can you reach? If you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Google search, right? You kind of can know how many people you can reach based on the target market, demographics. Then frequency. How many times an advertisement is shown in a specific time period? Right? They say, hey, billboards are shown just at one time. You can't change it. Right? You're like, hey, radio, hey, tell them about that medical product every Tuesday. We'll pay you X amount of dollars for that. Tell them about it at least 3 times a week during the talking segment of the podcast. Right? How many times you repeat the same thing? Impact, how quickly the message is received. All right? You could do like a live. You say, hey, I'm gonna do on social media, I'm gonna do a live sort of promotion, a live ad, and I'll immediately see the response. Like, whoa, 15,000 people responding right now. Like, it's pretty effective, right? But then you're like, yeah, well, that's that old Facebook Live or Instagram Live, we come back to it a week, like, oh, it really didn't change. Right? It had good instantaneous impact, but not long-term enduring impact. And then engagement, customers' interaction with the content, right? Like, share, subscribe. Did you comment to? Did you critique the restaurant on Yelp? Right? Did you provide a review? Was it positive or negative? Did you do something for us? Did you enter the sweepstakes? Right? Play the game? All right, I want to stop here, take a break. I'll wrap up maybe personal selling at the end. I want to kind of get that. So here, let's get to our presentations. Our first group, Johnny's Beef. Come up here, please, collect the time. And then pass around your 3D objects, please. off script about, something else that you, insights you see some other presentation, go ahead, right? Obviously, we may have acknowledged something, else said, and maybe we have some, considerations or, input to give you, how, yeah, no worries.
Okay. So our company is Opportunity Knots. So the design is basically just their logo that I extruded, and the very company logo. And the added element of a moving door represents the company's mission of moving doors with people in place.
Die Frage eingehen zu deiner Notes intellect and knowledge differences or the objective with design is to promote opportunity design for fun way and engaging way. The item is consistent with all other branding and promotes conditions.
The item uses of 5x5 inch version can be used as a toy or a giveaway at events. It could be a kind of container with candy inside for people to open the door to give candy. A small 1x1 inch version could be like coins given to kids to play with. It could also be used as a reward or currency option for free.
No, I think that's excellent. I mean, one, you're saying like, hey, not only did you create a pretty object to use as a messaging tool, maybe you use it actually as some sort of material thing that you use as currency or, splash up as logos, something that, all over the internet, events, arrangements, and stuff like that. And it's also something that moves too, which is different. This is one that you printed at your own home. Was it difficult to get that moving part?
Yeah, I got the tolerance wrong on the print, so the door doesn't really work well. If it's bigger, it will work.
Yeah, I like it. It's colorful and it's very symbolic with opening doors for individuals. Good job. Where's the object? I want to see it. So the blue one is kind of stuck, right? Still like it. I'll reach out to the department chair, and I'll see maybe if there's an opportunity to place some of the objects in the businesses, like the offices, maybe somewhere around the schools or something, like the kind of unique group names and stuff like that. All right, next.
Alright, so, if you'd like to please, hand out the, new object. So our business is Moonlight Berry Marina and Restaurant located in Sterling, Illinois. What's being passed around to you guys is a mug that we have. The mug's supposed to represent how we're a restaurant. And then, the big part of it is showing, is the anchor. Is that we're not just a restaurant, but we're also a marina. And the way that, people believe, anchors and ropes, that's how you, that's how you dock your boat, or, that's how you station your boat in one spot.
we strive to achieve this by selling the company mugs, like, as merchandise, allowing discounted beer if you buy a mug, so you get a deal on buying the mug, like, sort of like how McDonald's does the cups that they give away, the special offers, if you get this Happy Meal, it comes with a cup. Presenting a combo ticket offer to our private events for the purchase of the mug, so discounted ticket events. Allowing winners of our hosted competitions to get complimentary mugs as a reward. Additional prizes we take.
So by including this mug as a portion of our brand identity, we will further reach our community into the community. Everyone has mugs in their home, and by having our mugs in the homes of our client at home, we are able to take a normal beer to a lane of memories made at our restaurant. Well, whether you're reliving your first concert at our venue or reminiscing about the first time you came to a competition, having our mug as a product allows us to be a staple in the community and in turn drive profits and revenues while also maintaining our brand identity. Hey, excellent, right? Once again, another item you can sell to customers. This is free advertising when someone sells it, right? Hey, where'd you get that mug from? Like Starbucks, cool mug. You're saying the messaging here is community building, socialization of similar interests, people who love to come to the marina. The mug represents probably the most casual thing that people do, which is drink. You got a boat? You got a
Pretty
boat?
much it.
Right? You got a boat drinking and talking. That's what happens.
I feel like being able to sell it as merchandise too, like, that's already a shop-sized glass, so we can, like, expand our markets into not just mugs, but like miniature versions of things like that, for like, people who may have come, like, out of the town or out of the state or whatever to buy a souvenir, or something that they used to buy.
Yeah, it's a collectible, right? Like a shot glass.
And you can also think about like, what is it, when I went to Stanley Hotel in Essex Park, they have, red rum, but wine glasses. So then, and it's a red text, so then, you pour it in, and it just covers it up because red wine, you're having the blood, yeah. And then, what else? And then with shot glasses, they got like little curse word numbers, like, what's the one that I have? I think it was like 412. That was a curse word, and, shiny. That's kind of, I think with this, you could definitely sell this merchandise, because people, I've looked at, I've talked to somebody at Stanley Hotel, and they said, yeah, with these kind of sales, they sell a lot of their glasses, because people like red from wine glasses. I have one. It's really cool. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if you mentioned, did you mention that would you give people percentage off like their meal or something?
Percentage off my drink. Like if you want.
If they brought their mug?
Yeah, like if you, like normally a draft would be like $2. Instead we make it like $1.50 or maybe lower than that. Where it's feeling you gotta, it also determines on the size of the mug. If you get like a 12 ounce or 23 ounce, that's I think could make big sales as well.
Remember, a big part of marketing is call to action. Like not only just showing people stuff, but reminding them, making them do something, right? So we have Dunkin' Donuts might get 20% off, right? Some big about literally Europe, like making people do something. It's both having them get that free advertisement out there too. Call to action, make them do something, actually physically with the product itself. All right, excellent, Drew. Great work. All right, last we'll touch on some personal selling. The importance of that, having salespeople. All right, but quickly, let's just go over this. Some key performance indicators in terms of advertising, right? So like, hey, how do we know if the ad works? If the campaign we created, if the commercial works, if the billboard works, right? If the ad in the newspaper works. But for advertisements, we have ad views, the impressions. How many times a specific advertisement appears in the chosen medium? Formula used to measure is impressions. Right, so we say impressions in advertising is simply how many people saw the ad. Right? Not anything that they did with the ad or because of the ad. That will equal the rating, the target population, and the number of ads run. So we take the number of ads that run, multiply it by target population, who we were specifying, and look at the ratings. Ratings, anyone ever heard of Nielsen? Nielsen ratings. Right, we say, hey, Nielsen measures how many people watch the Super Bowl, how many people watch Family Guy, right? How many people are viewing a particular thing at a particular time. It also can give the information of demographics of them. Well, how many 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds are watching that program, right? How many African Americans who are watching that particular program, right? It gives us information when it comes to even like television based off the frequency of the signals. How many people were tuned in and dialed in to that particular frequency at that particular time? How long they stay on that frequency? Did they watch the whole show? They only stay on for 5 minutes before they change the channel, right? All this stuff can be measured to see how effective things were. So if you insert advertisements in the Super Bowl, right, you can get a lot of key performance indicators to see the actions that people took after watching the ad off. With Coca-Cola, people hashtagging it, commenting, coming on the website with a decrease in traffic, right? All these sorts of things. But one, we just want to know how many people saw it, right? It's good to know that, but then next we can know how many people went and clicked on something, did something after the site. Next we can know how many people have they clicked on it, actually went to the website and bought something. We can see the conversions there. Right, so the difference between recognition, awareness is a little bit different. Well, we'll come back to, I don't want to talk too much about the key performance just yet. But then PR, right? Companies have a reputation. You have a reputation, right? No different than a brand of a company. You have a reputation to those folks. Someone starts bad-mouthing you, an impression of other people, that begins to spread. And they will start to believe that now. What are you going to do when people bad-mouth you? Right? What kind of damage control you will do? In fact, I'm going to speak up for me, or I'm going to have others speak up for me. I'm going to do something to show a way to keep a good reputation, right? That's what we got PR for, public relations. The act of creating and maintaining positive image with the public, the result is considered publicity and is not paid for, not generally paid for, right? So we have publicity. Can be used to bring awareness to an event and award the amount of volunteer hours, right? We all like to go on social media and talk about our achievements, but putting publicity out there, bringing awareness to something. Oh, we're interested in this cause, right? I volunteered for this place. But publicity can be used for damage control too, right? So if you achieve some sort of bad reputation, let's say you posted something political as an organization, and everyone on Twitter is talking about canceling you, right? Because they think that you're really about this, and you should be more about that. That's a lot of customers, a lot of money to lose. How do you get them back? And you maintain the good sort of public image, right? You gotta do something, right? You gotta create maybe some new advertisements to show how you don't believe. They're actually pretty good, a good contributor to society. The public wills break out. You can be canceled. Hey, the public can't cancel. Sorry, you shouldn't have interjected into politics. You should have stayed in the company that sells products. Right? But then you're like, well, no, that's trending. That's a lot of money. It's trending. I need to capture some of that trend. I do need to talk about what it's about. Maybe I'll just interject. Right? Maybe I'll make it sort of abstract and ambiguous to not show which really side I'm on. Or maybe say I go all out. I don't care. Right? I go all out. I will celebrate the holidays. Right? I will celebrate things that that you know that had to kind of clean up its reputation based on some type of evidence? Tell me what happened with Starbucks.
They basically supported like, you know, Gaza, what was going on, they supported the other side, and, yeah, they supported Israel, and a lot of people who kind of go to Starbucks are more like liberal, and so they didn't agree with that, and they lost a lot of customers and stuff, and they had to keep doing like deals for like the past year, like 5 drinks for $20, 4 drinks for 20, like just to get their name back out there, and a lot of people were boycotting and like that.
Yeah, think about it. Starbucks is like, hey, this is a major thing. Do we create ads and campaigns based on the talking of this event? Do we interject our opinion, our side on it? Who's our target audience? Well, maybe we could see Dunkin' Donuts was blue collar for the most part, as we established earlier. But Starbucks is younger, college educated, college going liberals. They're with their cool MacBooks, their really cool Warby Parker glasses on, they got really cool hoodies, expensive hoodies, right? They're really cool shoes. People at Dunkin' Donuts don't care. They're showing up with some steel toe boots and going to work, give me the coffee, I get out of here, I got a contract for work. It's a different demographic, it's a different thought process, it's a different ideology, it's a different political sort of demographic. And you have to be aware of it. Very sensitive too, right? Like you interject, I don't know, maybe that, you're gonna cause some sensitivities, which could really harm the company. So I don't know, whoever made that decision was a bad call.
They also $11 billion in market value. They also $11 billion in market
It's a
value.
lot of money, $11 billion in market value, right? Just for sticking your nose into, politics. And you know what? Some things, for a lot of people are black and white. So it's either, if, you know, if this or that, there's no gray. Some discussions are not gray for most people. Right? And when you get into the politics in this country, you will cancel your family. You'll stop talking to your family over certain topics. Like, do you believe in that? I don't care who you are. Right? I have a friend you know, he's kind of got really heavily into the politics, used to it, you know, he's very kind of great. Right? You know, Jack, you be this side, that side. But now, yeah, he's cut off a lot of even his family, like close, you know, sisters. So it goes to show you if you want to capitalize on the politics, because it's huge. It is kind of a challenging thing. You go on Twitter, if you follow, maybe post something about Trump or Harris, you're like, it don't matter. We just want the attention. Because this is what people are talking about. We gotta go for it, one way or another. But then it could backfire too, like, oh, okay. You know, because most of your people coming by there have a different political mindset. They're gonna cancel. Right? Now they're not gonna cancel you, know, they're gonna post everything, to boycott, and they're gonna do everything to make sure you fail. Right? I saw another hand. We're gonna see.
The movie had a very controversial one since they got played. You realize, well, one, they had a child with a blind finger on like media sense stuff. They also had like a sheet that says a bunch of what the child like and everyone was like,
Hey, you're like, hey, Balenciaga likes to push the edge on this campaign. It's advertising. Because some of the clothes are obnoxious. Like, it doesn't matter. We're here for, we already saw the ad. We're here for wealthy people who can care less, who can buy $3,000 shoes or socks or something crazy, and they have their own mindset. But don't mess with the kids. Right? Like, that's a universal. Don't pushing out messages, using influencers to push things out, public affairs, influence public policy, engage with public officials such as lobbying. Like, hey, you know what, let's get a group together, pay for it. They go down to the Capitol building in Illinois, or they go down to City Hall in Chicago, and we're gonna have them lobby, argue for a position on a particular law or legislation that eventually will help us as a company. We see that a lot with construction companies here in Chicago. Chicago's a pretty corrupt city. There's no coincidence where you see the same construction companies on all major sites. Kind of kickbacks going on about officials. Hey, we'll give you the $1 billion contract, give us 3% back. 3% back out so that we don't get caught. Right? It's given to my cousin's construction. My uncle does cement. Right? My cousin does whatever, scaffolding or something like this. Right? Pushing things out. Be like, hey, that's another tool of PR. Influence public policy and the law. Events. Supporting the cause or highlighting the company, product, or brand by sponsoring or hosting events. Big things that McCormick Place, sort of association events come together to promote products and services. And then digital media and social media marketing. And then last, I wanted to talk about personal selling. All right, who works in sales or who has worked in sales? In any way, shape, or form. What'd you do?
I used to sell insurance.
Tell me about the sales. Like, tell me about that process when you had the job. What was that process of trying to be successful selling insurance?
It was
What
hard. It was hard. It was a lot of you had to call, you got a book of numbers of people in the meeting that you were insuring, and you had to call every single one of them. Like if they didn't answer, you had to call back again, at another time, or schedule an appointment, or handle everything down there, at the time. And if they have questions, it's just a long process of the back and forth to try to settle on a good price for them and a way to fit their needs as the consumer.
I'd be like, hey, it's a lengthy process. We had prospects, right? Prospect, these are people who are part of some trade that need this type of insurance, right? The next thing is communicating to them, right? Next part is maybe convincing them. All right, I got you on the phone, now I'm put on a big spiel. Why you should get your insurance from here. Maybe they're somewhat interested, but not right now. Yeah, I'm busy, call me back next Tuesday, right? Returning calls. Hey, I'm interested, I'll buy it. Like, all right, good. By the way, we upsell you some additional things on here, make more money. You're like, hey, well, what motivated Joseph? You're like, commission. Was it commission based? Right? Like, so it takes a lot of the process. One, motivate as a company, you have to motivate salespeople to actually do this type of work. Because the work is intensive, it can't be rewarding. If you close a deal, there's a great amount of satisfaction knowing that you sold something to somebody, convinced it was worth it. But then there's other things too, after the fact, right? Support them later, hey, you got any issues, are you happy? Okay, I'll make sure you're happy, satisfied. With our De La Rosa, we have a lot of that, right? Which is a lot of salespeople. So do you have a lot of intimate knowledge about that prospect? Does it start off with a sheet of prospects and leads to phone calls or canvassing neighborhoods or businesses or what's that look like?
I'm not entirely sure how that process started because it's a decently old company, but I know that now what we do is they'll call us, the companies will call us, the ones that already have our services, they'll call us, and then from there we'll be like, okay, we'll send a representative as well and help you. Like if I don't know, like the printer stops working, then we'll send one of our
Support.
four guys.
To solve that problem.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a challenge, but you're like, hey, it actually needs to work. Why would anyone need personal selling? Why can't we just have a bunch of billboards and campaigns and social media? Why do we need people to personally sell? Yes.
There's a lot of people just
right? Don't think just, business to customer, think of business to business. Right? Be like, hey, how did Northwestern Hospital buy a big x-ray machine from that manufacturer's x-ray machine, right? Someone had to talk to them about how this x-ray machine works. The average person has no clue. Very technical things. 3D printers, for example, right? How does this technical thing work? A medical procedure with equipment, pharmaceuticals, right? Think of selling pharmaceuticals. Hey, we have this new drug, just came out of the clinical trials. You should keep it at CVS, Walgreens, Target, Walmart, in a pharmacy area. It's been shown to be effective, more effective than the last 3 drug on this specific thing to solve this particular symptom. This is why you should buy it, right? Unless you're a chemist or in medical business, you don't have not that much of technical expertise. You need someone to explain it to you. Insurance, right? Like with insurance, you get done, no one's reading on it. Give me a person and give me the gist. Sell it to me, right? Summarize it for me so I can make a good decision. Financial decision. You're even talking about real estate for brokers. Imagine trying to sell it on your own. It can be done, but it's a lot more difficult, right? It's like you're talking about fees and things and the law. You might sell your property. They feel like you don't even, the person may not feel like they own it in the right way. Lawyers involved, right? Need things to be so very technical. Okay, maybe I'll wrap this up. I'll wrap this up on Thursday, so we don't get too many. Yeah, we'll talk about more personal selling on Thursday, and then we'll do chapter 16 as well on Thursday too, and then we'll have our break. All right, once again, great job on the presentation. Select the 3D object.